Alright, Tuesday's stream again. This time more generic cards along with the Dragon Empire Stoicheia Dual Nation card. So let's begin. So first off, here are the V promos of Nova Grappler and Angel Feather, which is basically for the heals. And here's the Cater Sanctuary reprints for Festival Collection. And I totally forgot about Ranking 2, so here you go. And this also includes the counter heals, which I'm happy about. And now for Festival Collection cards, let's start off with the possible new generics. With Dragon Empire, a Whirlwind Dragon Warden, which is a grade 1 with K power and the skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard, if your Vanguard is grade less than or equal to your opponent's Vanguard, this card gets 5 key power. I want you to keep in mind, the Dark State one, which is the only other reveal so far, has the same condition where when placed on rearguard, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade less than or equal to your opponent's grade. But I do expect this condition in pretty much all of them, which I'm also going to assume it's going to have the same second skill where Auto Rearguard Drop Zone, when your other card is discarded by hand during your turn, costs Energy Blast 3, remove this card, choose one of your discarded cards and put it back to your hand. And this skill is going to be depending on the deck. I can definitely see this card being used in both Nirvana decks because this does actually kind of help it out considering that both Nirvana decks need to discard a card to do something, and so far both of them don't really use energy, so this might actually be helpful. And since it says discarded from hand during your turn, if this card is in your drop zone during your turn where you're going to ride grade 2, you could actually possibly just use this skill by Energy Blasting 3 to remove it and return that discarded card back to your hand, which is a nice way to preserve resources rather than being using stuff like Soul, but it just depends on personal preference. And now to the Dark State one, Time Turner Dragon Clockwise. Has the same stats of grade 1 8k power, with a skill having the same condition of auto. When placed on rearguard, if your Vanguard's grade is less than or equal to your opponent's Vanguard grade, you can Soul Charge 1 and plus 2k power in the end turn. So like I said, condition is the same, different skill. But the second skill is the exact same thing, where auto Rearguard Drop Zone, when your other card is discarded from hand during your turn, cost Energy Blast 3, remove this card, choose one of your discarded cards and put it back to your hand. Once again, it depends on the deck, but I can't really think of any Dark State decks that really have much discards, but getting this to the drop zone is really easy, especially for the ride deck. Finally, to the new Dragon Empire Stoicheia Dual Nation card, Flame Leap Chaotic Dance, Hikusui and Rimred, which is a grade 2 with 10k power and the skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard from hand other than during battle phase, you may call plant token and then perform one of these following abilities by counterblasting 1. You get this skill for the rest of the turn. All your rear guards that were placed by card ability this turn gets those 5k power, or choose one of your Vanguards to get those 5k power in the end of the turn, but if you have 4 more units, plus 10k instead. Either way, this is pretty good for the free plant token already. Might be a little weird for Dragon Empire, but a free booster is a free booster, but also 2 generic skills that are helpful for either deck. Good number of Dragon Empire decks kind of need Vanguard for extra power, so that is pretty nice, although the 4 rear guards might be a bit difficult depending on which Dragon Empire deck compared to the Stoicheia deck, but the all rear guards placed by card ability might be more beneficial to Stoicheia, but depending on which Dragon Empire deck, this could also be very helpful considering that you got quite a good amount of superior called Dragon Empire decks these days, like Eugene, which is the OG, Gandiva, which also does some, and there's also in a way Nirvana as well, even though you're going to perform the overdress stuff. But I could say for sure that in both nations, the power for the Vanguard can be lacking, so this can actually be very helpful for either nation. So that's it for these new reveals of the new type of generics possibility, along with the new Dual Nation card of Dragon Empire and Stoicheia. What do you guys think of it? Honestly, they're all generic cards. The new type of generic, I say interesting that you can use it from the drop zone, and they have unique skills that can benefit their own nation, but for the Dual Nation cards so far, they are just really good. Although I am a bit worried of them being expensive since it's a generic card for 2 different nations. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.